Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Chris Groves with us, and Chris is quite the lender, I must say. He grew up in Wisconsin and came out to San Diego. It's a very interesting journey, and we'll be talking about infrastructure lending, which I think is going to be very interesting to the whole audience today. So Chris, great to have you. If you wouldn't mind, just give us a little history of how you got to San Diego and into this business.
Pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, so Chris Groves, originally from a very small town in Wisconsin, 942 people strong. My parents moved me out to Woodland, California, my freshman year in high school. So I finished high school out there, then went back to Wisconsin to study at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. After that stint, I ended up in San Diego, California. No job, no car, no money, tried to figure it out. So from there, I got into the real estate business after being in the fitness industry for quite some time. Started off as an appraiser, agent, broker, ran one of the biggest Keller Williams down here in San Diego with my friends Jeremiah Taylor and Chris Heller. At that time, my wife was in the mortgage business and she was the MSA in Movement Mortgage. We decided to team up and we opened up Groves Capital at that time. So over about 9 years ago at this point. So we're still married and we're still in business. So we'll call it a great success. Through the challenges in the mortgage business the last couple of years, we pivoted into commercial lending at a heavy focus over the last 3 years. And I started getting into hotel development, some multifamily, like bigger projects. And one day someone passed me a deck on infrastructure lending. And I kind of called BS, what the heck is this? And the guy said, you're too smart and too connected not to know what this is, Chris. So I listened to that and I really started, educating myself, focusing on it, meeting the right people and the right leaderships to accomplish these kind of deals. After joining YPO, I ended up finding an entity that built and orchestrated a way to lend on these projects like nothing I've ever heard before. So I literally changed my life, started building his company up, and long story short, after about $16 billion worth of opportunities in 7 months that I brought to his pipeline, I became his partner and CIO of his company. So, and I love what I do now. Like infrastructure lending is such a niche and so specific, and I don't have much competition, which is the best part of both.
So how do you market yourself to infrastructure projects?
Honestly, so I market myself basically on the commercial lenders because a lot of people get these decks across like things like hydrogen, oil and gas companies, data centers. We can even do like hospital builds, stadiums. You can do housing, but it can't be luxury. So it can be like social housing, transportation companies. So more or less, I just reach out to other commercial brokers and I say, do these kind of lending opportunities hit your desk? Because most of them they do, and they just don't know where to put them, right? And once I tell them what I do and how I orchestrate it, it becomes a funnel. So I probably have about, at this point, got a lot of people send me deals, but I probably have 7 to 10 that are very big commercial lenders that send me probably about 2 to 3 opportunities a week at this point. So I source between $1 and $4 billion on a weekly basis at this point with the network. But I haven't marketed for it other than word of mouth. And I'm one of those people that I talk to people, I tell them what I'm doing. And once they hear about it, and I make them aware of what to look for. And that brings in deals my pipeline. Obviously, they get paid for it as well. So it's a win-win for both of us.
So when at one point you stepped into the insurance world and the reinsurance world, and you got an insurance brokerage part of that. So when did that happen?
So we use the reinsurance business to wrap the complete debt stack of the infrastructure. So getting into my company now, GIA, we're licensed to be part of the reinsurance market because we are the lender. So we're not brokering these deals, we are direct lending to them. So that's why we have access to that. So our company right now has capacity of $20 billion worth of reinsurance allocation a year. Next year, based on our volume this year, we're going to increase it to 30 billion.
Wow. Yeah. So there is a limit to how many projects you can reinsure, right? So you can only do like 20 million this year.
So yeah, there's a limit based on your capacity, right? It's kind of like if you don't use it, you lose it. So I got to make sure I keep my pipeline full, which it's not an issue for me at this point. And like I said, we're already kind of oversubscribed at this point in the market. That's why next year we're already going to increase that up to 30 billion. But our main focus is we're going to turn this company into the marketplace for infrastructure projects. And we're developing AI technology that can underwrite our projects within about 4 to 5 weeks. Right now, it takes us 6 to 9 months to fully underwrite these projects and get the loan to a financial close. And to give you a reference point, it takes the U.S. government 18 to 24 months to underwrite these projects and get to a financial close. So people complain that I'm too slow. To give you a little idea of what the government does. But these are big projects, right? These are not dinky little, it's not just a normal residential property we're talking about. My minimum deal size is $100 million. My average deal size is between $400 and $600 million. So yes, lending takes a little bit of time to make sure things are done the correct way, structuring, and they're going to be cash flow positive. But the biggest thing with these projects is we're selling this narrative to the reinsurance market and the bond market. And the people who are picking up this paper and who are gearing this paper towards are the pension funds. And the pension funds are the most rigorous and the most detailed about who they're going to invest in and why, and making sure that they're very protected. So they love to buy this paper because once it comes out of our underwriting, it becomes 100% insured for them as well. So if you can buy paper at an 8% return for the next 10 years and it's 100% insured, would that be a good investment?
Yeah, absolutely. So who crunches the numbers and who does you do that in-house basically?
Yeah, so our background was in the sales side advisory side initially. So pre-underwriting these deals goes to our team first. So we created a very diligent checklist and application. It's not a short one. It's about 276 questions of fun. But at the time that they're done with this application, we'll actually have a scoring of the project. So we're looking for an 85% or higher of scoring. That shows us, yes, you're in fact ready for underwriting. And then we model these out more or less about cash, making sure they're cash flow positive. It's got to make sure that they pay back the bond as well. So the cool thing with the renewable space, the money that these projects are typically making, it's unbelievable. It's IRR, between 20 and 60%. We were talking even just like the solar modules for like car outlets, putting those in parking lots, like it's just unreal. So it's definitely viable, and that's what makes them sell very easily in the bond market. And I'm sure as everyone's been hearing, infrastructure is one of the hottest tickets in the market today. You're hearing it from the White House, but the biggest reason why is it's going to create jobs. It's going to help our environment be more green, more friendly, and obviously the cash flow positivity is huge as well.
So how many of these deals don't get through your process?
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 do not get through.
No, well, we won't pick them up. We don't pick them up for full underwriting until they fully meet our requirements. So I'm sure, as anyone knows, in the commercial lending, you get a lot of people with a deck and a big ask. That doesn't mean you're getting lending. So our job is to make sure it's in fact ready for underwriting. So when you meet a sponsor in the infrastructure space that's an operator, you can tell the difference from someone that has an idea and wants a lot of money than someone that actually can put it to fruition. But the one thing with our company GIA that's very specific is we don't just lend the money. We're actually project managing them the entire time. And when we give them money, it's not here's $100 million day one. It's over a 10-year play. We can do a stretch period on the front for 1 to 3, but we're paying their bills. We're not going, here's $100 million to have fun, and they end up with a yacht and a mansion and a McLaren.
Right.
We want to make sure that they're putting this money into infrastructure, just like a commercial lender would give on a draw, right? Same concept, but on a lot bigger scale.
So they have to apply for a draw on a monthly or...
Yeah, they just submit, hey, like, let's say it's a renewable energy, like a hydrogen, and they got to buy that material or the equipment. So, hey, here's the hydrogen components we need to buy. They send us the invoice, we pay it off directly. That way we keep track of it, we audit it, we support it, and we make sure that it's going to model out and be cash flow positive.
So how many people are in your accounting group?
We got a big slew of accountants. Every time we bring a project live, we do bring in a lot of third parties to bring in and obviously audit us to make sure everything is staying in compliance on top of it.
Yeah, no, so I'm sure that's critical to the whole thing. So are the big dogs kind of coming after you, so to speak?
The funny thing is I'm not the big dog yet. I will be. Even our company, even saying $20 billion a year or $30 billion isn't like we're the small guys. We haven't reached the league table yet. But I assure you we will. This company is my unicorn. It's an IPO in the next 3 years. So once we create this marketplace, this is this is where the future is going. Like most people don't understand what's going on in the debt market. Commercial lending is going to be a thing of the past with the banks, and the new mode of facilitating these deals is the bond market, is the reinsurance market. You're watching BlackRock and what they're doing right now. This is it. You know what the U.S. government's been doing for the last 30 years? Bonds. So now a lot of people are just like, it's newer to a lot of people because they haven't seen it, but this is the future. This is where things are going because it's cheaper money, it's securitized money, and more than anything else, like once I create a bond, let's say we have a successful close of a project for $200 million, okay? And that company wants to grow again. So they come back to us because our company's global impact assets. Our goal is to grow them globally. So you can say, hey, Chris, I need to make some more acquisitions. So what we do is we go back to the reinsurance companies and increase our policy and increase the face value of that bond. And then we put it right back out. So then now every 90 days, I can get my client money and tranche them in for their growth. So then it gives them speed of efficiencies for closing. So then they don't have to call another lender. They don't have to deal with another guy like me and pay fees up front. Everything's built in. And then we allow them to grow as they need it every 90 days. They're ready to rock and roll.
Wow. So how many of these projects are not in the US?
So when I met my partner, 100% of his business was international. And that's where he cut his teeth. And funny enough, international, a lot of people think there's a premise that it's more risky. It's in fact false. It's not more risky to do international projects. It's actually more arbitrage and more secure than most people know. The U.S. government or the U.S. in general up to election was unstable. A lot of people in the reinsurance market before the election. Now, right now, I'm not saying it's totally stable. At least we know where things are going. So right now, our aggregated book since I joined the company is about 60% US and 40% international at this point.
So what's one of the most interesting projects you funded?
Interesting project. One of my favorite projects is that we funded is taking trash from dumps and then turning the trash into hydrogen and then fueling cities and college towns with that hydrogen. Right. So that's one of my favorite ones because we're taking trash shit and turning that into energy, utilizing something, and it's a lot more cost efficient as well. Like even if you go to the grid, it would cost like 15 cents a kilowatt for electricity, where hydrogen we get down to 3. So not only am I helping the environment, but I'm saving people money in addition.
Wow. So where's that project taking place?
Texas.
Oh, interesting. Texas. Yeah. Texas trash.
Texas trash. They have the big ones, big Texas trash.
They got a lot of trash in Texas.
Exactly.
So convert it to hydrogen, off you go.
Yeah, we have another company that was taking another cool one I'll mention is they take tires, used tires, and they turn that into reusable jet fuel.
Wow.
So they take all that they get an offtake with Costco that, hey, we'll take all your shit tires, and then they turn into fuel. So they get pretty much everything for free and then monopolize on it. So it's pretty cool. But the one thing with infrastructure, it's sometimes asset classes that you wouldn't think about. Like we right now, and I can't give full details, but we have like cancer treatment pharmaceutical companies that we can actually lend to because that would be under health impact and that would work under our bonding. Or I have like another project we're working that's a health screening for cancer that people can do at every CVS or Rite Aid in person, right? So it's not always a real estate component. As long as it's something that's viable for the public and for the better good, we can do it. So there's a lot of little asset classes I've learned. I'm like, oh my gosh, we can fund on those kind of things. So every day I learn a new technology, a new way to operate things, to optimize. So it's kind of fun because it's not never the same old thing. I learn so many new things on a daily basis that it's really refreshing.
No, that's got to be fantastic. That's got to be great. So just for fun, before we end here, what's your favorite food?
Thai food.
Thai food, and you'd like to sit with who while you're eating this Thai food?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. You know,
Of
the
course,
legend.
the legend. That's comes from your fitness days.
Yeah, the fitness day. I love fitness, still a big part of my life. But the one thing I love about Arnold, he is the American dream. The guy came here from a different country, built an empire, was a multi-millionaire before he got into acting, right? It was real estate, then acting, and then the guy takes leadership in a governor role. So regardless, that's living proof that you can do whatever you want if you put your mind, energy, and action behind it. I love it.
So what do you see in the future going forward here?
far as the market
Yeah, sure.
or in general. And then we go a lot of different ways on that topic.
Whatever area you want to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm in the area where I think it's going to make the biggest impact. So I think over the next 4 years, what we're doing right now at GIA, the renewable space, is where people should be focused on. Obviously, the three biggest verticals I see for opportunity is infrastructure. My first choice, AI. Obviously, everyone's here and you can't get away from it. Actually, my wife just launched a new AI company called Groves IQ as well. So we're getting into that space. And the third one is going to be crypto, obviously. So those are the three biggest verticals that you can really focus on to optimize. So at this point, a lot of things are going to be changing. Every market yields a different result and different opportunities. And if you're not pivoting with that business, you get left behind. So make sure you're staying ahead of the trends, focusing on what's going to be the bigger play and making sure you're putting action to capitalize on those opportunities.
So are you familiar with stable crypto?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you thinking you're going to be using that in the future?
Yeah, actually, I just partnered with another crypto bank yesterday. They're bringing me on to sit on their board. So crypto lending is obviously, yeah, it is a future. You know, the dollar will probably, it won't be gone for the next couple of years because we know where the administration wants to sit on it now. But cryptocurrency will be the currency in the future. In the next 10 years, it'll eliminate all paper, to be honest.
It's going to be the wave of the future, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I just met a company yesterday that can leverage, they can leave your Bitcoin in an escrow account at a bank and leverage 70% LTV on that money. I think they're doing 10% rates at a couple points, but they don't even have to, you don't have to sell the Bitcoin, right? They can just leverage that and then they can go into different investments like real estate opportunities or infrastructure with me.
So just curious for those commercial brokers out there, are you paying a referral fee to them for bringing you into transactions?
Yeah, if someone sends me a deal and they're the broker to it, then yes, they're built in typically 50 basis points for the loan amount for the value. So it's not something they have to negotiate with their clients. It's more someone they introduce us, it's viable, they sign contracts, and that broker is built in. So perspective, an average deal with say $500 million, 50 basis points at close, that broker is going to make $2.5 million. So not a bad day.
He should be very happy with that.
Exactly.
So for all of you brokers out there, how can they get a hold of you, Chris?
Yeah, email CEO at Groves Capital. I'm always on IG, on LinkedIn as well. Christopher Groves Capital, or GIA Global Impact Assets.
All right. Well, that is fantastic. I look forward to talking to you in the future and seeing where this infrastructure lending goes.
To the moon, baby, to the moon. Or Mars. Or
All
Mars.
right. I'm all for it. Okay. We'll talk soon.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.